Welcome to the Focus First pricing tutorials. My name is Jonathan DeLeon and I'm the Business Development Manager at Focus First as well as your guide today. In this video, we're going to go step by step on how to create each of the graphs using the Focus First pricing software. That way you can know the basics and create these easily on your own. So let's jump into it. The Focus First pricing software allows you to very easily create graphs. A number of them are actually created automatically for you. Let's show that right now. First, I'll click Start here to upload my information. And once this uploads, it'll ask me for the area name. And then it'll automatically create all the neighborhood patterns for me. So after just a couple of seconds, you already have a number of graphs created without any more input from you other than opening your export file. And there we have it. The odds of selling is created. The time to sell for the last 2 years, and the buying pattern for the last 2 years as well. What else is automatically created at this moment is a base scattergram. Now this base scattergram uses the standard last 6 months sold information and adds a trend line. However, creating your own scattergram and adding more to it is also really easy. I'm going to click on this pricing button here in the ribbon to go back to the MLS datasheet. And there's two ways I can select other properties here. I can either do it in the datasheet or I can do it using the Create Graph options. Now let me show you both of those. Now if I wanted to add, let's say, this property right here that I'm going to highlight, I can do that very easily by selecting this property and clicking Select Properties up top, which will add X's to all three of the boxes here on the left. The other way to add some property to your graph is you can very easily just right-click or two-finger click if you're on a Mac here in the box as well. Now to add properties to your scattergram using the button up here, once I click this, there's an option that says Select Data. By opening up this information box, it allows you to select either closed, for sale, withdrawn, or all three properties, and then filter that by year built, list price, or off-market date. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add the for sale properties as well. Now that that's done, we've selected a bunch of data, and now we want to create our new graph. In order to do that, it's under the same Create Graph Options button that will open up this window, and then Create Graph. Now in this case, we're going to go ahead and add the trend line, graph by total square feet, and if we have anything that's selected in the sheet that's add the text box to property, which is the middle column of these three boxes, we're going to add the MLS number, address, and total square feet. Once you click Create Graph, it gives us the option to either replace the current graph or keep both. And I'm going to keep both just to show you the difference. Okay, now that's done, you can see here that we have the for sale properties added, and now we also added a text box here on the graph. Again, here's the original graph and the new augmented one that has a little bit more information and is a little bit more customized. Now obviously you can do a lot more on this sheet and add and remove different ones however you want to, add text boxes to certain properties and not other ones to kind of really give a clear picture of the ones that might be matching your square footage. But this is the basic understanding and the basics of how to use the data sheet as well as how to create graphs using the Create Graph Options button. Now we move to positioning. First we're going to add in our positioning data, which in this case here is going to be in the price range of 250 to 300,000, okay, to 300K. And once that uploads, the program will automatically create two graphs for us again. The first being the real estate pond, which really shows the momentum of the market, and the positioning scattergram basic. And this is created very quickly and very easy for you. Now that being said, if you want to create your own or add some other features to it, like text boxes, you can do this as well on the positioning scattergram by going to the positioning button here, which opens the active data sheet. So let's say we wanted to add text boxes to these four properties. We can do that very easily by selecting them in the Add Text Box Scattergram property. Again, by selecting these four and clicking the Select Properties, or if we want to, we go to the boxes and right-click, which will toggle those all on. Now this Create Graph Options just opens up this first box here, again asking us what we want to have included in the graph. And you can see that in our default one we had a trend line. I'm going to leave it off just to show you the difference. I'm going to create the scattergram graph, and I'm going to go ahead and keep both. Now you can see in this positioning scattergram, we don't have the trend line and we have a number of text boxes. Now one important thing in these text boxes, if you want to move one, make sure you click twice. If you can see there, when I clicked once, it selected all of them at once, but once you click a second time, you're just moving that one. No matter where you move it, a leader line will automatically be attached to it. In order to change the text in here or add something that we don't have added from the MLS sheet, all I have to do is click, and you can type whatever you want, such as a four-car garage. Simple as that. You can make your scattergrams and make all your graphs. Now there are a couple other graphs that we have in the Focus First pricing software that are not necessarily as difficult to create or as customizable. The first being the Visual Home Value Report. This is created automatically for you, and this has the last 12 months time to sell, odds of selling, and buying pattern. Now you can't change these, however you can always change this scattergram. In order to change this, you go back to the pricing tab, you open up one of your scattergrams, click add to VHV, click yes, and then it will replace that here. Now one thing to note, it does not replace the text boxes, but that's kind of because when you get too many text boxes and it prints on a smaller version, it gets pretty confusing. The other graph that's not shown right here is the FHFA graph, which you can find by clicking on this button and then logging into your account. So very simply, the program will make most of these graphs for you, and then to create the scattergrams, you're going to use mostly this Create Graph Options button. Hopefully this video helped you learn the Focus First pricing tool. If you want to see more videos like this and additional videos we release, make sure you subscribe to our Focus First YouTube channel. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.